All right, process has started officially. So don't have all the cameras and the fancy holders and all that stuff, so I'm not gonna film every little thing, but what we've done so far, just the quick backrest, which is the quick disconnect. Seat's pretty simple. I think everybody can figure that one out. I got the Mustang seat, so bolt into the fender, 2 3/8 Allens into the frame. Actually, yeah, into the frame on either side. Disconnected the battery. Instrument cluster is pretty straightforward. It's a bolt that slips into here like a toilet bolt and then comes up through, and there's a cap nut that goes on. But the tricky part is getting that line, crossover line for the tank, out from underneath the frame. So I disconnect the bolts and everything from the tank, so everything's loose. This was a factory crimp clamp on here initially. I cut that off when I did the chain guides, then put a regular hose clamp on. So crimp it off with a pair of vice grips. And then I picked up a fuel line and this barbed fitting. So towel is to catch whatever fuel spills before I can cram this line onto that fitting. Once I bust that hose off of there, drain it into the tank, to the fuel gas, the gas can here. And then when that side's empty, take the barbed fitting and go into that side of the hose, and then release the clamp and drain the rest out. So time to get stinky. Okay, just a tad bit of fuel spilled, but there she is. Tank off, and then this is the clip I was telling you about, the connection for your fuel gauge. So now on to motor mounts, upper motor mounts, and the throttle body, and then start pulling exhaust and rocker boxes. Okay, so throttle cables, bit of a bugger. Obviously you have to collapse your adjusters, so a couple of 3/8, just adjust them all the way down, and then to get the top one out, you just spin the cable till it comes out that crack. But what I used was one of my dental tools to just get in behind there and kind of help push it out, because it wants to go sideways. And then the bottom one, just open the throttle valve until you get enough slack, and then do the same on that one. And then there's no other markings, so I just labeled the top with a little piece of tape, so I can remember when I put this back together in however many months. Well, I think that's it for today. Just a tip: when taking off the motor mount, you don't have to take these 3 nuts off. All you have to do is take this upper bolt loose, and then the 2 that mount to the heads, and then the whole bracket will come off. You will have to take your horn off just to get to the wires, because it would be a bear to get to those wires without taking the cap nut off and pulling the heart off, but that's not that big of a deal. So now put all this stuff back into its hole somewhere in here so I can get Mama's car back in the garage.